Jeff Santos, a show all about moving you, your family, and America forward.
Help us rebuild America and rebuild our middle class and give young people opportunity.
Welcome to Rebuild America.
Welcome to the fourth and final hour of Rebuild America. This is Jeff Santos. I am so psyched because we are kicking ass for the middle class today. We have had the fighters in studio today, boys and girls, and I tell you, I am fired up because the people that we have had on have fired me up, and we got an whole hour to go. We're going to get fired up when we see Secretary of Labor Hilda Solis, and when we talk in just a matter of seconds to the great fighter from the great city of Chicago, CPT. You got to get ready for your homeboy, Representative Danny Davis, Illinois 7th District, will be with us in a matter of seconds. As I said, we've been talking to Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers. Terry O'Sullivan has been with us, the general president of LIUNA, Labor's International Union. Tim Ryan, colleague of Representative Danny Davis from the great state of Ohio. Our great Buckeye friends. Joe Rome, the fellow at the Center for American Progress, editor of the Popular Climate Progress. Rebecca Thies, federal budget policy analyst at the Economic Policy Institute. And Joe Williams, Revolution Radio's D.C. bureau chief right here in Washington. Shout out to our friends at the Center for American Progress, Joe Rome, who will be releasing in August Language Intelligence Lessons on Persuasion from Jesus, Shakespeare, Lincoln, and Lady Gaga. And once again, our friends at the AFT who have recently launched the petition against high-stakes testing, which we really need to do, folks. We need to make sure that the AFT has support on this issue because it is high stakes. All right, our next guest has been fighting for the great people of Chicago for a number of years, and it is really great to have him here. He understands where the wars are. He understands what the Republicans are trying to do. You know, when we need fighters, we go to Chicago, and Danny Davis is here to prove just that. Great to have you on, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff. As a matter of fact, it's a pleasure listening to the lineup of people that you've had. I'm just saying, you know, I'm glad I didn't have to follow Terry O'Sullivan. Let me tell you, he's a fireball.
Oh, I love him.
He lights it up. I mean, I attend a lot of labor conventions and labor meetings.
Sure.
And I said, don't put me on after this.
Well, Randy and Terry together, boy, we got a fireball and a half. And it is really great to have had all of these folks, and again to have you, sir. You know, look, I was in Philadelphia yesterday. We had the state senator on, Anthony Williams, and we had former governor of Pennsylvania, Ed Rendell, and you know, we were talking with one of the city councilwomen as well, great city council person, and we're talking about the fact that 187,000 Philadelphians, most of them African-American, some college kids, some Latinos, who are going to be taking off the rolls in swing state Pennsylvania, in swing state city Philadelphia, because the Republicans don't have a positive message. The only message they have is to cheat. And what State Senator Williams was telling me yesterday, he's the Democratic minority whip, listening today on our great Philadelphia affiliate WWDB, is we need to educate people to go out there and vote. Now, thankfully, the folks in Illinois and the folks in Chicago, you know, don't have to worry about this particular issue because they don't have a right-wing governor and a right-wing legislature. But this is going on across this country because great people of Chicago and the great state of Illinois sent an African-American president who has your back and mine and the backs of people of all colors, and the Republicans don't like it. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop people from voting.
Well, you know, it's amazing that they would stoop to that point. I mean, there's a blues song that we listen to sometimes that asks the question, how low can you go?
That's right.
And, you know, people try to go under this barrier.
Right.
And then you get all the way down.
You get all the way down.
Can you go to the floor?
Right.
Well, it seems to me that they're trying to go to the floor. And I guess that's why history is so important. You know, I didn't know that all of this cheating has gone on.
Sure.
And that we have actually had elections stolen from us any way that you really cut it. And that some of the same states, some of the same people have been the culprits. How to prevent, I grew up in rural Arkansas, and at the time that I lived there, you had to pay a poll tax. That is, my parents paid a poll tax, $2 in order to vote. The wages that people were earning sometimes was $3 and $4 a day for a whole day of agricultural work. Now, most of them weren't willing to go with two of those dollars just to vote. Fortunately, my parents just made the sacrifice and they'd pay their $2. Well, this is worse than the $2 that they had to pay then. And I think Eric Holder, the reason we went through this contempt business, Fast and Furious, of course, was an opportunity in terms of part of it. But I think the right wing really wanted to deal on Eric Holder because he stepped up and stood tall and is trying to protect the right of people to vote and participate. And that's in many places throughout the country.
Well, let's think about this, because you said it, and I've been saying on this show since the whole Fast and Furious thing happened. I'm waiting for the actor Vin Diesel to come out, and say about this, because this is an issue that has been going on during the Bush administration. I didn't hear any Republicans back then talking about it. But this is exactly the case. They want to destroy Eric Holder's reputation because he has opened the door in Florida. He's opened the door in South Carolina. He's looking at other places, including Pennsylvania. And the fact is that they know that if he comes with the federal government on his side and opening the doors to this outrageous attack on our civil liberties, our right to vote, the very sanctity of people who you knew, who you fought with, that died, that basically to get people, African Americans and others, to have a chance to vote in this country. And these guys are trying to destroy him because he's the only thing, a strong attorney general representing the people of America, standing between them and stealing another election like they did in 2000.
And you can't discard and just throw away the rule of law.
That's right.
And you can't just throw out protection coming from the highest law enforcement officer in the land. And I think that was just as much a part of the let's get Eric Holder as anything else. And I'm proud of the fact that he has stood tall, continues to stand tall. And we're going to make certain that people who want to vote, we're going to use every effort we can possibly come up with, no matter what state it's in, no matter where it is. People need to just stand their ground and say, I have a right to vote. They need to show up at the polls. They need to file affidavits. They need to fill out any form, any paper. Let's not let them steal another election from us.
You know, this guy knows how to fight, folks. He has seen it. As you said, he comes from Arkansas, the South, which is, pushed on the African American and on the poor for many years. With the exception of people like Bill Clinton and a couple of others, they didn't have many fighters in Arkansas. And the fact is that we can't afford to let what has happened in the past, the Jim Crow era, happen again in this country. And we need people like Representative Danny Davis to continue to fight. And that's why it's important for you, America, and voters in America to go out there and cast your ballot for Democrats and for President Obama, because we can't afford another 2 years of Speaker Boehner and right-wing folks who want to repeal Obamacare like they did today. You were on the floor. What in the name of progress in America did that vote have anything to do with reality? It was nothing more than just another mark trying to destroy the President of the United States and to destroy health care, giving people a chance to pay for their health care. That's what it is.
22 times we voted to repeal You know, the Affordability Act. And, of course, the Republicans know that it's not going to happen, that it's going to take time. Now, we could have spent that time trying to figure out how to create some jobs,
right?
Figuring out how to make use of this new health reform bill. You're going to tell me that if you create the opportunity and the need for another 500 health workers or another 500 doctors or 5,000 nurses, that this does not take away opportunity. It creates. I listened to some doctors. I was saying to myself, you know, I'm sure glad these guys don't treat me. I mean, I think I'd rather get a home remedy.
Yeah,
I mean, we
you
had
got some voodoo doctor you'd be better off with.
That's right. We had a whole panel of doctors and doctor after doctor trying to sell us some snake oil.
Yeah.
That there was all these things wrong with the Affordability Act. And I asked one doctor, I said, well, doctor, can you tell me what it is about 32, 33 million people getting the opportunity to get health insurance who've never had it before? How is this going to hurt the American health care delivery system?
Right.
And he said, oh, well, you know, just because people have a card, that does not mean that they're going to get health care. But if they have no insurance, no money, no way to get into the system, then you know for sure, absolutely you know for sure, that they will not be getting any health care.
That's right.
And you know that many of them are going to die prematurely.
Yep.
If you're sick and you can't get to the doctor, what are you going to do? Well, you get to the undertaker.
There you go.
You know.
That's where you go to, the undertaker.
Yeah, you go to the undertaker.
We're talking with our good friend, Representative Danny Davis, who's on the floor today. We want to hear from you, CPT. A great member of Congress is with us. 866-338-9663 is the phone number to join us in Boston at 617-237-1234. We'll be with the representative through the bottom of the hour, and we'll be joined by the Secretary of Labor, Hilda Solis, a former colleague of
and doing a tremendous job, not only of creating opportunity through job training and economic development activities for people, but helping them know that at the end of the day, if they go through these programs, they will go into the world of work. And that's what Secretary Solis is doing, and I am so delighted that President Obama chose her to be a member of his cabinet.
She is a great fighter. Stay with us, Representative. We're going to take a brief time out here. Come back with your calls, 866-338-9663. Representative Danny Davis is in the House. We're excited to be here in Washington with a great group of fighters. This guy takes no back seat. He knows how to deliver the punch. He knows what the blues are all about, and he can punch it back, too. This is Jeff Santos. You're listening and watching on Revolution Radio Network. Rebuild America. We'll be back. There we go.
Sweet home Chicago.
Rebuild America with Jeff Santos.
There you go. Well, we got Buddy Guy, we got Barack Obama, and we got Danny Davis.
I represent Buddy.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, the legends.
Oh, he's amazing. I got to go to his club, got his autograph, picked up a
there
T-shirt.
in the loop.
That's right. Great stuff. We're talking with Representative Danny Davis, representing Buddy Guy and many others in his great district, the 7th District. And we want to take your calls, 866-338-9663. Let's go to Martin in Naperville, Illinois, right next to Chicago. How you doing, Martin?
I'm doing fine, Jeff. You know what? I just want to really ask you, I mean, what can be done about things, like Fox News that call themselves news, but actually they just deceive people. And you know what? Without all this deception going on, Republicans would not stand a chance. But what they do best is it's actually deceive. And you know what? Why do we allow these organizations that call themselves news channels, but in reality are just,
propaganda channels?
Yeah, I think they are, Martin, but I think people have to listen and watch everything that goes on. I want to thank you for your call. I've spent a great deal of time out near where you live. I spent 10 years going back and forth to Benedictine University out there doing a little teaching. And I've got a lot of friends who live in Naperville, and we are delighted with the kind of people who have emerged in those communities. We finally got some Democrats out in DuPage County.
There you go.
And so it's exciting.
Danny, you for many years, Danny. Danny Davis, you are a man of integrity, and I always followed your career from the early age when Harold Washington was the mayor. And, we need more people like yourself.
Well, thank you so very much, and I certainly appreciate your call. We got to wake the town, though, and tell the people.
That's right.
Get everybody engaged, everybody involved, and I think we can beat these guys back.
Martin, you're right on. And in terms of what we got to do with the FOX, what you got to do is you got to listen to CPT. You got to listen to the Revolution Radio Network, where I'm a part of. You got to watch MSNBC at night. And that's how you do it. You watch other guys. You don't give them the chance. You don't flip the channel, the FOX network.
Jeff, it's not me that I'm concerned about.
Yeah, I know.
People really just, watch Fox. But for what I understand, in Canada, they do not allow certain.
They're smart up there.
Without a doubt.
Martin, thank you, my friend. And tell your friends about CPT. And they can listen and watch me on Revolution Radio Network and follow the blogs and the websites, the Representative Davis and other Democrats. That's what you do. You tell them the Democrats are for the 99% and the Republicans are for the 1%, and I think we can get a lot of people to stop watching FOX and start listening to the Revolution and other great progressive outlets. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you again.
Representative, got about a minute.
Oh, well, I tell you, people like Martin who recognize that it's ultimately the people who are going to make the difference. I know that they've got a lot of money. I looked at all the money that Mitt Romney raised in the month of June. But, money does not vote.
And all those guys.
People do.
That's right.
And if you know where you stand, you know what you believe in, you know what you feel, you know how you're going to act, then the money can't buy you. And the money can't persuade you, and Fox can just get wiped off the map.
There you go.
That's what we've got to do, is make sure that the voices of the people are heard, and only the people can do that.
That's the great voice of Representative Danny Davis. I'll put him on my blues band anytime. Illinois, 7th Congressional District, a real fighter. Thank you, sir. So good to have you here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
We'll be back. CPT, you gave us a good one. Danny Davis, Chicago, you gave us a good one. This is Rebuild America.
Here's an important cancer alert. If you or someone you know
Very
is
good.
diagnosed with
Naperville.
mesothelioma lung cancer,
that's
you may be entitled to receive
that's a good
funds from an
community.